Betty White died a few weeks before her 100th birthday, and I know so many of us wanted to celebrate that day with her. The way the St. Olaf stories make you laugh, the way she cheered you up when you were feeling down, the joy of her laughter. We're honoring this St. Olaf Woman of the Year with 31 fan-favorite Rose Nylund Golden Girls scenes.
The point is, Rose, you do this kind of stupid thing all the time. And if you're not doing something stupid, you're saying something stupid, or wearing something stupid, or cooking something stupid.
Rose, what do you think of Blanche saying these things?
I think she's a Gurkana-knockin'.
Well, what exactly does that mean?
Literally, it's the precise moment when Dog Dude turns white. But in general, it refers to the kind of person you don't want to share your hootenkoggles with.
Rose, if you say one more of those stupid words, so
blow it out, you Tubenburbles!
I'll get my purse.
No, Blanche, I'm not going to let you do that. I've been doing a lot of thinking. And if after all the years of love and companionship, Fernando and I are meant to part company, I'll just have to accept that. Time to time, life deals you an unfriendly hand. There's nothing you can do about it. I guess there's a lesson to be learned here. Sometimes life just isn't fair, kiddo. This is exactly what happened during the Great Herring War.
The Great Herring War?
Yes, between the Lindstroms and the Johanssons.
Oh, that Great Herring War.
The two families controlled the most fertile herring waters off the coast of Norway, so naturally it seemed like it would be in their best interest to band together. Oh, boy, was that a mistake. You see, they couldn't agree on what to do with the herring.
Oh, well, that's understandable. I mean, the possibilities are overwhelming.
Exactly. The Johanssons wanted to pickle the herring, and the Lindstroms wanted to train him for the circus.
Weren't they kind of hard to see riding on the elephants?
Oh, not that kind of circus. A herring circus. Sort of like SeaWorld, only smaller. Much, much smaller. But bigger than a flea circus.
Tell me, Rose, did they ever shoot a herring out of a cannon?
Once. But they shot him into a tree. After that, no other herring would do it. Everyone? I was supposed to speak at a funeral this afternoon, and now I can't, but I'd still like to give my speech if no one minds. I wrote some things down, but I'd just rather talk. The funeral was for my Aunt Gretchen. I didn't know her very well. The only thing I remembered about her is she used to scare me. Jumping out of my closet at night, putting false fangs in her mouth, sometimes baying at the moon. Now her dying scares me. But there's a good part to being scared. You get to know who your friends are. They're the ones who help you not be scared. Maybe that's what Aunt Gretchen was trying to do all along. Help me not be scared. I think so. Goodbye, Aunt
Do you know what I hate doing most after a party?
Trying to find your underwear in the big pile?
The last time a friend's sweetheart made a pass at me, I lost my friend, Anderbo.
Anderbo?
That's right, Anderbo Johnson. Clyde Whitehead, Anderbo's beau, decided he wanted to see my cheerleader sweater from the inside. So when I told Anderbo, she blamed the whole thing on me. And then Clyde would never speak to me again for telling. I lost Anderbo. Now you understand why I can't tell Dorothy?
I don't even understand who Anderbobo is. All I know is that Dorothy should find out what kind of a man Elliot really is. Now, if you're her friend, you'll tell her.
But honey, she'd be devastated. What kind of a friend would I be to hurt her like that?
Well, what kind of a friend would you be if you let Elliot ruin her life? She could marry that man. They could have a child. They could adopt a child. And then one night at the country club, possibly during little Mei Ling's coming out party, Dorothy's having the time of her life when she goes to the powder room and she overhears the towel lady telling Mrs. Steinbeck that Dorothy's husband, Dr. Elliot Clayton, has bonged every female member of the country club. Can you let that happen to Dorothy? Can you let that happen to little Mei Ling? Hasn't she suffered enough?
Not as much as I have listening to that story.
I wasn't able to get any work done today because of that new girl, Abby. I mean, she's constantly talking to me all day long, and she never listens to me. Do you know what it's like to be totally ignored?
So how was your day, Rose?
The truth is, she's a sweet girl looking for a friend. And we do have a common bond. She used to be a newscaster, and now she's just an assistant like me. So there's this cognitive dissonance between her actual and her ideal self, which causes her to be practically dysfunctional. But of course, I'm no psychologist.
No, you're a nitwit. How come you know those words?
Blanche, come on, it's not nice calling her a nitwit, but since the cat's out of the bag, how do you know those words?
I guess it's from reading the American Journal of Abnormal Psychology. It's published in St. Olaf, you know. In fact, my Uncle Gunter used to be the editor.
And what were you, the centerfold?
I'm sorry, but I refuse to believe you have ever read a scientific journal.
Believe what you want, see if I care. Hypersexual bitch. Gucci.
Rose, play or die. Miami is nice, so I'll say it twice. Miami is nice. Miami is nice. Miami is... Wait a minute. You put in an extra Miami is nice.
I had to. It hurts the music if you don't put it in.
Yeah, but the lyrics don't make any sense. I mean, it goes, Miami is nice, so I'll say it twice.
Oh, I see your point. Well, what about this? Miami is nice, so I'll say it thrice.
Right, who the hell says thrice?
It's a word.
So is interuterine. It does not belong in a song.
Miami, you're cuter than an interuterine. Hello, anybody home? Welcome wagon, come and get it.
Hello, Rose.
Mr. Hubbard, I didn't expect...
Grace took a turn for the worse, and, well, she's out of pain now.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We're gonna miss her, aren't we, Jake? We're gonna miss her, aren't we, boy?
Mr. Hubbard, I know it's a lot to ask at a time like this, but I've been finding it a bit much, you know, worrying about water bowls and morning walks and all. I wonder, would there be any chance you'd consider Jake's coming to live with you?
Well, if he's too much trouble. Are you sure?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, you'd be doing me a favor. Thank you, Mr. Hubbard.
Rose, thank you.
Listen, you be a good boy. Don't chase. Always remember, cats are people, too. I'm gonna miss you, Jake. The hardest part for me was explaining to my Kirsten the difference between boys and girls. I knew the time had come, but I kept putting it off. Finally, I decided it was time to take the bull by the horns.
So you told her?
No, I took the bull by the horns, turned him around, and showed her what makes a bull a bull.
You are kidding, Rose.
No, that's how my mother taught me.
Honey, didn't that give you a false impression about what a man would look like?
It sure did. Can you imagine my surprise on my wedding night with Charlie? Boy, that bull would have been jealous. Nils Velveeta attempted to harass me repeatedly.
What do you mean he attempted to?
He worked at Lars Ericsson's drugstore and tackle shop. He was a soda jerk. Now that I think about it, he was the town jerk. Every Saturday afternoon, I'd go in and have a sundae. Well, Nils would arrange the ice cream scoops in an obscene way. I could never prove it because by the time I would take it home to show my father, the evidence had melted. To this day, every time I pass an ice cream parlor or a tackle shop, I blush. I completely forgot. Well, I better make a wish and blow out those candles before Mr. Hickenlooper has the entire volunteer fire brigade up here pumping water on my clean kitchen floor. I swear that man will look for any excuse to make that siren sound through his nose. Inga Lundqvist told me just this last week. I know. Shut up, Rose, and blow out your candles. Okay. A wish. I guess that was kind of a silly wish. I know you can't really be here with me, Charlie. It's taken me these past 8 months to accept that, but I finally have. Then why our usual little private birthday celebration? Somehow it feels less lonely, Charlie. I mean, this is the first special day I've had to spend without you. If it had been Christmas, I'd probably have hung your stocking. Or if it had been your birthday, I probably would have still asked the clerk down at Tuttle's to help me pick out a tie for you. Oh, I bet that would have gotten me some strange looks from the sales staff. Although they already look at me strangely. Because at the time I tried to special order a double-breasted navy suit with a drop seat in the pants for Cousin Wendell. Anyway, that was part of the reason. The other part was I wanted to talk to you. I know I didn't need a special occasion for that. It'd be more of an occasion if I stopped talking. But I figured since it was my birthday, you wouldn't be upset when you hear what I've got to tell you. I've decided to sell the house and leave St. Olaf, Charlie. The winters are rough here in Minnesota. And this place is too filled with memories to let me get on with my life. I need to start over without you, Charlie. And I think this is the best way. I know it'll be tough in a strange town, all alone, but I've read some wonderful things about Miami. It won't be long before I meet nice people and make some new friends. I have a real good feeling about that. So, I just wanted you to know what I decided. I hope to be in Florida before the next winter comes. But I know that wherever I am, you'll be right there with me. I love you, Charlie. I miss you. It's my birthday. You know the rules. I get the rose.
Rose, you're not going to tell us that story about the exploding pig again, are you?
I never told you a story about an exploding pig, Dorothy. It was a peg-legged pig. Our possum was the one that exploded.
Forgive me, Rose. There have been so many possum explosions lately, it's hard to keep track.
So what was this great disappointment in your life, Rose?
Butter. I wanted to be Butter Queen.
Oh, yeah. What an actress. She was so good in Gone with the Wind. I wanted to be Miss Olivia de Havilland myself.
Blanche, are you listening to this?
Bits and pieces.
Go on, Rose.
Well, Butter Queen was our town's highest honor. From the time I was born, my folks groomed me for it. Singing lessons, dancing lessons, junior butter pageants. For 16 years, my entire life revolved around butter.
You were very fortunate. So many of us wasted our youth.
When the time came for the pageant, I was incredible. I showed poise in the evening gown competition. I was brilliant in the oral butter quiz. They couldn't even trip me up with a trick margarine question. That evening, butter was spelled R-O-S-E.
Rose, you're embarrassing yourself. Please don't go on.
I have to, Dorothy. I've kept these bitter butter memories too long. As the pageant drew to its frenzied finale, there I was, alongside the other two finalists, churning my guts out. When all of a sudden, for no apparent reason, my churn jammed. Yes. And just like that, it was over. I'd lost. It was the biggest disappointment in my life. It was small consolation to find out years later there had been churn tampering involved.
So, how come I don't feel all that happy?
I don't know. Is it because we know that Lillian's just plain lucky that a lot of old people do slip through the cracks and are forgotten? And maybe it may not be too long until we're elderly ourselves.
I know, girls. Let's make a pact that we'll always take care of each other, that we'll never desert each other no matter what.
You can count on me,
But
honey.
you think it's going to be that easy getting rid of me, Rose? That was rhetorical, Rose. Oh, but what a comforting thought, knowing you'll never be alone.
And listen, what the hell, if we do have to go to a nursing home, let's all go together.
But what happens when there's only one of us left? When I think of my father, I always picture him pulling a giant tuna up Main Street.
Well, who doesn't, Rose?
It wasn't a real tuna. It was made of chrysanthemums. It was the float in the Founders Day parade. You probably don't know this, but my hometown was founded by Heinrich von Anderdrönen. The first man to ever can tuna in its own natural juices. Anyway, it was the 50th anniversary celebration of the founding of our town. My father was chosen to pull the float. He thought it was because he had the newest tractor, but actually it was because he was the only one small enough to fit into the mayonnaise jar costume. I'll never forget the moment we caught sight of him turning off a sycamore onto Elm. Something must have happened to the tractor, because there he was, this lone little mayonnaise jar, dragging this giant tuna up the hill and past the reviewing stand. I don't think I've ever been prouder in my life. Gustav Lundqvist got sick from something mysterious, and he nearly died. Well, he did die, in fact. Then at the cemetery, Beatrice Lundqvist, his wife, kept screaming, "He's alive, he's alive, I can hear him from the grave." Well, everybody thought it was the hallucinations of a grieving widow, so they sedated her. But when she woke up from her sedation, she told them that he said from the grave, "We never paid our 78 through 86 income taxes." And his partner said only Gustav would know that. He must be alive. So they all raced to the cemetery, and the entire town started digging like crazy, kneeling by the grave, using their hands even, dirt flying and Beatrice screaming. And when they opened that coffin, there he was, dead as a doornail.
What is the point of that ridiculous story, Rose?
The point is, Gustav didn't die from his mysterious disease at all. He lived and recovered. Trouble was, he recovered while he was buried, so by the time they got to him, he died of suffocation. Grasp the valve tightly with your hand.
Okay.
Turn it clockwise until scum gathers on your elbow joint. I'm sorry, I skipped page 62.
Listen, Rose. Rose, this is not working. We've been here a whole week and nothing has gone right. I'm ready to throw in the wrench and start using the Texaco station down the street.
Dorothy, please, don't panic. Look, you just need a break. Why don't we just wash our hands and have a nice cup of tea? Rose, turn it off. I can't make it stop.
Very nice job, ladies.
Who let you in here?
I did. Lucky I had his card.
Looks like we've taken a few wrong turns here.
For your information, this is exactly the way we wanted it to look.
Oh, yeah? You got Siamese twins living here?
Look, Lou, we really don't need your help.
Ladies, with all due respect, I think it's time you threw in the dish towel. I mean, trying to fix it yourself was cute, but I think you proved your point, and it's time to let a man take over.
I'm with Lou.
Oh, get your coat. Lou is leaving.
Hey, not so hard. I work with my hands.
You know, I'm still a little confused. Now, who exactly is Ricky?
Lucy's husband.
I thought Desi was Lucy's husband.
Not on the show.
Desi wasn't on the show?
Desi played Ricky.
Who did Lucy play?
Lucy.
I know, but who did she play?
Lucy.
Right, but who did she play?
Lucy played Lucy.
Well, then why didn't Desi play Desi?
He wasn't tall enough.
Here, Rose, Dorothy, here, smell me.
I only do that with the milk, Blanche. You know the rules.
This is the last drop of that perfume Big Daddy gave me on my 21st birthday. I want to see if it still has its fragrance. After all, that was 20 years ago.
Blanche, if your 21st birthday was 20 years ago, you'd only be 41.
That's right.
Gee, you look terrible for your age.
Oh, hi, Rose. Hey, the ceiling in your room leaking too?
No, Dorothy, I just finished milking the cow I keep in my closet. Gee, with only 3 hours sleep, I can be as bitchy as you.
Rose, what was your first impression of me?
I thought you wore too much makeup and were a slut. I was wrong. You don't wear too much makeup.
Rose, honey, there's something I have to say to you.
It's just 2 little words, but they are the hottest 2 little words in all the whole world for me to say.
Not tonight.
Let's say that you make Miles a batch of your delicious creamy cupcakes, and he loves them so much that he wants you to make them all the time.
Miles does have a sweet tooth.
But let's say that even though he loves your cupcakes more than life itself, one day he decides to try somebody else's cupcakes. For lack of a better example, let's say my cupcakes. And I, in a mad, passionate moment, forget myself and let him try my cupcakes. How would that make you feel?
I'd like to think I'd understand.
Oh, good. Good. I was hoping that's what you would say. What?
I'm sorry. It's just the idea of Miles wanting to try your cupcakes.
Why is that funny?
No offense, Dorothy, but your cupcakes are dry and tasteless. Nobody ever likes your cupcakes.
My cupcakes are moist and delicious. Men love my cupcakes.
Get a clue, Dorothy. Men would rather pay for cupcakes.
Let me tell you something, you Swedish meatball. Wait a minute. You're actually talking about cupcakes, aren't you?
You bet I'm talking about cupcakes. What are you talking about? Wait a minute. Have you and Miles been baking together?
Rose, I would never do that to you, I swear.
Good. Because if I ever caught Miles with another woman in my kitchen, I'd... This has been the worst day of my life.
Hey, what happened to you?
First, my alarm didn't go off, so I was late to work, and then I had a flat tire on the way. And when I finally got there, I smashed my hand in the door. Ooh. Oh, I feel like crawling under the covers and eating Velveeta right out of the box.
Blanche, we're getting married.
But that's impossible, Clayton. Brothers can't marry sisters. Oh, that's right. You're from the South. My mother always used to say, the older you get, the better you get. Unless you're a banana.
They need an aphrodisiac.
An African what?
An aphrodisiac. It's a substance that makes you feel sexy.
Really?
Yes.
Like what?
Like Spanish fly.
Spanish flies?
Fly, Rose. One fly.
Oh, come on, Dorothy. I've been to Spain. It's not the cleanest country in the world. They've got thousands of flies. Valencia alone.
It is not a fly, Rose.
Spanish fly is not a fly?
No.
What is it?
It's a beetle.
They call it a fly, but it's really a beetle?
Yes.
How do they know it's Spanish?
Because it wears a little sombrero, Rose.
Well, why don't they just call it a beetle? Spanish beetle.
Because they call it Spanish fly.
Well, then what do they call their fly?
I don't care, Rose! Forget it. I don't care. The minks can just sit there and we'll lose all our money. I don't care. Just don't mention Spanish fly to me ever again.
I made dessert.
Damn.
What'd you say, Blanche?
Yum, I said yum.
Rose, is this another one of those Scandinavian Viking concoctions?
Yes. It's called Genurken-flürken cake. It's an ancient recipe, but I Americanized it.
Yeah, so one might say you brought Geflirken into the 80s?
Yes, but I'm not one to blow my own Tubenburbles.
Good night, Rose.
Yeah. Oh, as they say in St. Olaf, helder bargain for a Geflirken.
You want to help us out here, Rose?
Well, there's really no English word for geflüffen. Loosely translated, it means, I hope you have a license to carry that geflüffen. Ever since I've been a candy striper, I've been giving all my patients the traditional St. Olaf fun pack. Each one has a pack of gum, a bar of soap, and sock puppets. I like to pretend one of them's you and one of them's Dorothy. Hi, Dorothy. How you feel?
Oh, woe is me. I can't get a date. Nobody asked me out. Woe is me. Woe.
There, puppet.
Dorothy, how's Sophia doing?
Oh, she's resting, but her hernia is painful.
Well, honey, put your mind at ease. The operation today is just a minor procedure. And by the way, you have nothing to be guilty about.
What? Well, I don't feel guilty.